Hi, this is David Taylor from the Effective Writing Center, and welcome to this workshop on formatting your financial plan. Today we're going to be taking a look at a model sample financial plan with an eye to how to format that with a set of document specifications that you can use throughout the many pages of this project due at the end of this course. Okay, let's get started. As you can see from these samples, the title pages of financial plans are often highly designed, and they're usually the product of a page designer that the company has hired or works in-house. Unless you have skills with Adobe's Photoshop, InDesign, or Microsoft Word's Publisher, we suggest that you combine your professor's instructions for the information that belongs on your title page, together with a simple design like these that you see here. Please keep in mind that your instructions are to design a financial plan for a live client. Therefore, at least that client's name will need to appear on the title page. Next, the table of contents allows us to begin talking about document design specifications. Before preparing the final version of your financial plan, you want first to have a set of design specs that will be followed throughout the document. For example, on this table of contents page, you see a section header. This section header is a red bar with white type. Please note that this section header appears at the top of the first page of each section of the financial plan. Table of contents, letter of engagement, disclaimer, introduction, etc. More important, note that this section header is the same color, red, the same size, stretches from margin to margin, and uses the same font, Arial Bold, and font size, 20 point, throughout the document. So the document specification would look something like this. Section header, full margin, red bar, text, Arial 20 point bold, text color, white. Therefore, before finalizing your financial plan, you should decide on how you will style a section header for each page. It doesn't have to be a red bar. If you go online and look at sample financial plans, you'll see a variety of section header types. Just be consistent. Next, you'll notice subheadings. You first see them on the introduction page. Again, the style of these subheadings must be the same throughout the document. Now, in this document, subheadings are left aligned with an extra space above and below. The text is Arial 16 point bold. The text color is a light blue. If you're using your RGB color picker, the red is 42, green 64, blue 99. The subheadings use sentence capitalization, which means only the first word in any proper noun is capitalized. And they also use end punctuation if the subheading is a sentence or asks a question. Also, each table or graph in the document has a title and sometimes subtitle. For example, this table on page 8 has a title, Net Worth Summary, that is styled the same as the subheadings in the rest of the document to give the document continuity. And notice that the subtitle, as of March 13, 2009, is similar yet different. It is not bold-faced. Next, let's look at the tables and graphs in this document. Notice that they all use the same colors from the document's color palette. For example, this table on net worth uses the dark blue that we've already seen in subheadings, a lighter shade of that blue, and then white. These are the colors for all the tables in the document. Now scroll down to the table on cash flow, and you see the same color palette used, as well as the same text size and the same style for the table headings and table copy. Again, we see this consistent color palette and use of type for all the tables and graphs on the asset allocation page and any other page that uses a table. Next, let's talk about body text, like you see here beginning on the introduction page. Body text in this document is Calibri 12-point regular throughout the document. However, Notice that there's also a specific format to the footnote text at the bottom of each page. Footnote text in this document is Calibri 6-point. Finally, let's look at paragraph styles. Beginning again on the introduction page, you notice that paragraphs in this document are block paragraphs. This means they are not indented and are set off with a blank line space above and below. Also notice, and this is very important, that paragraphs are short. Few paragraphs are longer than 3 to 4 lines. You see this design specification on the introduction page, net worth, cash flow, asset allocation, assumed asset mix, and so on. In other words, in business writing, keep paragraphs short. Now there's another important feature in this document, and that is the use of bullet list and list instead of paragraphs. Look on the page Assumed Asset Mix for Entire Portfolio. Look at Consider the Following. This is where the author is making 4 points. Each main point is put in a separate bullet instead of run together as sentences into a paragraph. This is very typical of business writing. In other words, avoid paragraphs except to introduce material, as you see on this Assumed Asset Mix page. This point about paragraphs being mainly only 2 to 3 line introductions can be especially seen on the conclusion page, arguably some of the most important points of the document, yet they are in a list format. Also notice that on this list of recommendations, we have another example of formatting. The first 3 words of each recommendation is bold-faced to help it stand out. All of these document specifications are also carried on to the appendices, where you see many supporting tables of information. Now this workshop also contains a thread on creating tables in Microsoft Word that you might find helpful for creating the many tables that you will need and how to keep them consistent for this financial plan.